Hello friends. I've tried so many times to film this video for the last 3 weeks, I think. It was supposed to be a shopping for new fall decor and thrifting for new fall decor. And I did a little bit of that and I did shop for some decor and I filmed a little bit of it. And then it was decorating my house for fall, which I will show some of that in this video, but I just could not get myself to finish filming and, more importantly, to edit the video. Editing is always what seems overwhelming to me, and I've just had a very stressful few weeks. I think I mentioned in a previous video that we moved into this house at the beginning of October last year, so we've been waiting to find out if our lease was going to be renewed for another year because we're renting an actual house that someone owns, and it's not like an apartment where, you know, that is the purpose of apartments, is to be rented out. So we didn't know if the owner was going to say they wanted their house back or, whatever. We've just never done this before. So we did find out we were going to be renewed, and then we found out we were going to have an inspection. And that was stressful because we've never done a rental inspection before. All the places we've lived in the past have said, just send us the new lease. We said we wanted to renew, we signed a new lease, and then that was that. So not knowing what to expect, we frantically cleaned and made sure everything was good to go. And it turns out the inspection was like 5 minutes of just a walkthrough to make sure there were no like glaringly obviously things wrong with the house, especially like structurally or like water leaks, which we do have a water leak. We have this area in our pantry where the hot water heater is, and also next to the pantry is the laundry closet. So there's like a tons of water things kind of going on in that area, and the floor started sounding squishy. So we put in a ticket for that a little bit before our inspection. So it's just kind of been a lot going on. And one of our cats was sick. Our senior cat had a cold, so I had to take her to the vet and had to give her medicine. So all in all, just a very stressful time. So I did film part of the decorating for fall, like this area right here, but then my phone died, so I didn't end up filming the actual decorating part. So it's just gonna have to be I'll show what I have, but so that's why I haven't made a video in a few weeks. And but I do think it's appropriate that today is the fall equinox that I'm filming. I probably won't get it out on the fall equinox, but I always kind of go back to this reflection when the seasons change. Excuse me, sir. I always go back to this period of reflection when the seasons change, and the equinoxes are all about balance. So a balance of light and dark. And whenever I'm going through a stressful time, I tend to go inward and rest more and not do things that take more of my energy. And also, I should have also said, work has been extremely stressful. It's going into our busy time of the year, and just projects that we have going on. It's just been a lot more stressful than normal. So I tend to then conserve my energy when I'm not working and doing just what needs to be done versus all of the extra things like making YouTube videos. So I do think it's appropriate that I finally get this intro filmed today. And I wanted to talk about resting and going inward and things that I do when I start to get that feeling that I'm a little overwhelmed and need some extra self-care. So the first thing is I still exercise. So I still go to the gym because it helps me relieve stress and it helps me sleep better, which helps me cope with life in general. If I'm rested and I don't have a lot of extra anxiety, which my anxiety tends to build when I don't sleep well and when I don't go to the gym. But then when I'm not working, I've been turning to books more. So I'll pop up some pictures on the screen. So I've been reading a lot more lately, partly because I really want to hit my reading goal and I'm a little bit behind, but I've also been reading some really good books. I would say the first one that really kicked off like this good spell of reading was called Dust Child, and it was for a book club. Not the kind of book I would typically pick up for myself to read, but very good story. It was about a soldier who was in the Vietnam War who wanted to find the child that he fathered while he was there, and then also a child of an American soldier who was looking for his father. They are not each other's father or child, but their stories kind of interconnect, and it's fiction, but it's based on real events. Then the next book that I absolutely loved was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I immediately followed it up with the sequel called Hellbent. And it was the kind of book that I just never wanted to end because I loved the characters. And I don't typically reread books, but I I was considering just starting over from Ninth House again and just listening to it all over again. That's how good it was. And then now I read Stardust by Neil Gaiman for book club, which was a nice little fairy tale ish, but set it in the fall. That was a really fun, like, short read, but easy to get through, not too deep or heavy or anything. And I'm currently reading The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, which is a thriller. It's set in Vermont, I believe in October. So you have those fall colors and like fall vibes, chill in the air, mist on the lake. And it's a thriller, like murder mystery kind of book. So definitely the good time of year, but it makes me want to read more so that I'm not on my phone as much and not doom scrolling. But if I do spend time on my phone, like if I'm watching my favorite cozy creators on YouTube, then I tend to I'm on my phone some. But I try to not scroll and I go to some cozy games that I play. So the first one is June's Journey, which is um, at the core of it, it's a hidden object game. So you have to find the objects in a scene to earn coins to buy decorations to decorate this island. And then as you decorate the island, you get flowers to advance in the scenes and like get and unlock more scenes to complete. And I've been playing it for several years, and this time of year especially I get more into it because the every month the decorations change, and next month is Halloween, and they're so good from what I've seen the spoilers of. So I'm trying to save up for the Halloween set, and I'll put up a little video of my island and my little Halloween area. And then the other thing I do on my phone is do color by number, and I use an app called Happy Color. There's a million color by number apps, but the one I use does like seasonal kinds of pictures. So as the year goes by, they'll add like more fall pictures will start to be added. Then it'll get into Halloween pictures. So that's fun to kind of be in the season and do something a little meditative to where it's very accessible. It's on your phone. You don't have to have like all these supplies like coloring books and utensils and all the things that take up space, and like you have to get out. Like that's overwhelming to me. If I need something to just quiet my mind, then I can't have something that takes like a million supplies because I won't get them out. I won't do it. So those are some of the things that I've been doing to kind of relax and get myself back into a more centered space as I've been going through this last few weeks of a lot of stress. And so now I will show my fall decorations, and we will enjoy the fall ambiance together.
But first, let's rewind a couple weeks. Have you ever craved a food that you've never had? This happened to me a couple years ago when suddenly, right around this time of year, I was craving shakshuka, which is a North African dish where eggs are poached in a tomato and pepper sauce, basically. I wanted this food so bad, and I found a recipe and made it and ate it for the first time while watching Gilmore Girls. So I now associate this food with the fall, and in a lot of ways it can be considered a fall food because all of the ingredients are things that would be in season or like would have been harvested by this time of year. And the other thing that reminds me of fall about shakshuka are the warming spices. So it has cumin and chili pepper, which are common in Chile, which is, a food that we eat, at least in the US, or when it starts getting cold outside. So those flavors really remind me of fall. And now every year, literally in September, I start craving this food and I have to make it at least once. It's not something my family would eat, so it's something I make for myself and I eat it over a few days. So this particular day, I really needed the strength to do my little fall cleaning and get my decorations out. And I took the opportunity to make some shakshuka, and I had it with my hot sauce that I made, that I started in my last video, which I did say I was going to film the making of the rest of it, and I did not. But this is basically how you make it. You create your sauce, simmer it for a little bit, and then you add the eggs and let them poach. And you can eat your eggs like however runny you like them. So if you like runny eggs, you would cook it only a little bit until the eggs are firm on the outside but still runny on the inside. But I like my eggs fully cooked, so I wait until the eggs are completely firm. And then you top it with some fresh cilantro and feta cheese, and you're good to go, and it's so delicious. Now that I have been fortified by my fall meal, I'm ready to start cleaning so that I can eventually decorate for fall. I think fall is a good time to do fall cleaning, and honestly, I'm making this video to force myself to do it. I wish I could just snap my fingers and have everything be decorated and clean, but that is not reality. Unfortunately, I'm not that kind of witch, so I will have to do it the old-fashioned way. So let's get started. Okay, now that things are cleaner, I need to unpack my fall and Halloween decorations, which fits all in this single box. Because in our previous home, we had a townhouse that was small and the whole downstairs was one big room. So a few decorations really made a big impact in such a small space. But now we obviously have way more space. So I did get a couple things when I was out this weekend to augment the things that we already have. So first is this crochet pumpkin that I made many years ago, like 8-9 years ago. This is, I'll open that in a minute. That's Halloween. I have a wood pumpkin and a glass pumpkin. So I have a few different textures there. The zombie arms for outside, which my child used to think was very hilarious. I have another crochet pumpkin that I made with like a little cinnamon stick as the stem, and I might make another one of these. We'll see. I have this garland that I made back in, I do remember distinctly making this, 2021. Because I was going through a very hard time in my personal life and I needed a little pick-me-up, so I made this wreath this garland. So it's actually backwards. It's felt leaves and these little wooden acorns that I painted like a little bronzy color. So this, I think, is going to go over here, but I just need to put the command hooks on it. So this used to be the credenza in the living room. Move this out of the way. This used to be the living room credenza, and I had command hooks on it year round for each season for all of the different decorations that I had. So I need to just re-add those back so I can hang that, and hopefully a certain little kitten won't mess it up. I have this little pumpkin wood thing that I painted at one time that I used to hang on the door. So it's I feel like it's kind of faded, like more so it used to not be as faded. I gotta figure out where to put this because I don't want to, like, our door now isn't sheltered like our old house. So this would be out in like the weather and I don't want it to be like that. So I gotta find a place for this. Here's another garland that I made that is more so Halloween. It's little, I made it out of little pom-poms and yarn tassels. So it's little spiders, pumpkins, and ghosts in a little garland form, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this. This is kind of a little more cutesy. I liked it when I made it, but now I don't know if it's gonna be my jam, so we will see. Another garland. This was a Joann's little wooden spider webs. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this either because I used to put it up on a specific wall that it was like the perfect width, and now I don't really have a good place. Maybe in the kitchen, maybe in my office. Love a garland. Little plastic cauldron. Don't know what I'm going to do with that yet either. And then I just have like a few fake flowers. That's pretty much everything. I have a few candles in here. Some skull candles actually, but they're like, I've never burned them. And they're like neon colors. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with these. I wonder if I could paint them or like dip them in like a dark wax, and then when they would burn, like the purple would, the different colors would come out. And so yeah, just like some fake flowers, which leads me to what I got. Oh, I also have these little like resin pumpkins, gourds. I will do something with these for sure. So while I was out shopping this past weekend looking for new fall decor, I found this at Home Goods. It's like, sounds ceramic. It doesn't sound like it's actually, maybe it is actually metal. It was $20. I don't like the words on it, so I may one day like spackle over this and kind of repaint it. But I can turn it to have the outside, but I think this would be really cute to go on the hearth. I just think it's really cute. Found this little pumpkin at the thrift store. It was like $1. And then I also got a new garland for the fireplace hearth. And I also got some more fake flowers. All of these decorations so far have been kind of for existing furniture, and like I had places for them in our old house, but we didn't have a fireplace before, so I had to get something that would be long enough. So I got this garland at Michael's. Oops. And one of the reasons why I got more fake flowers is because the garland has like these little, it's like a plastic chain almost, and I'm afraid it's gonna look sparse on when I actually hang it up. So I bought the fake flowers to kind of intersperse and break up the orange. I do love this kind of burnt orange color, but I wanted to make sure that there's some pops of color and it kind of hides that plastic chain. So I think the first order of business is to put the command strips on this because it needs to sit for a few minutes. And then while that's setting, I will move to the living room to do the mantle. Okay, so the way I did this before is that for every acorn is where I had a hook. So there are 4 acorns. Yeah, just 4. So I need to measure to have 4 command hooks. Hey Siri, what's 55 divided by 3?
55 divided by 3 is approximately 18.3333.
Okay. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay. I like these clear hooks because they hold stuff really well, but then they also like are kind of invisible. Now for the hearth, because we don't have a mantle, which you can kind of see where there was a mantle at one time, and we're very sad that there's not one, but we were renting. I would love to find one on Facebook Marketplace or somewhere and like command strip it up here to just have a mantle, even if it's not like a real attached one. But anyway, I digress. For this, I'm going to use these little things called brick clips that are little clamps that have teeth that hang on to the edges of the bricks, and they have little hooks on it on this side. So, sorry, that's the air conditioner. Little hooks to hold on to whatever you're hanging. So that's actually how our picture up here is hung with brick clips. So I need to measure and figure out where these need to go to attach these. Okay, I totally forgot that you need an Allen key to twist the little thingy. And I lost the one that came with it, so I'm going to try to find the right size in my little Allen key thingy.